In the quaint town of Willowbrook, nestled between rolling hills and quiet streets, a single lantern flickered softly atop the bedside table, casting dancing shadows across the pale blue walls of a modest bedroom. It was nearly midnight, and the town itself had surrendered to silence. But within this gentle hush, a fierce storm brewed quietly. Elena Harper sat cross-legged on her bed, clutching an old leather-bound journal with pages yellowed from many sleepless nights filled with trembling, ink-streaked confessions. To the rest of the world, she was still Ethan, a boy with short hair and broad shoulders, expected to be the perfect son, teammate, and brother. But here, in the sanctuary of her room, she was Elena, a girl whose soft heart ached beneath the weight of unspoken truths. Her fingers hesitated over the pen as she poured out her soul in a trembling script. Dear Journal, today was another performance. Smiled through breakfast, laughed at Dad's jokes about the upcoming fishing trip, nodded when Mom spoke about responsibility and manliness. But inside, I'm a hurricane of secrets. I'm Elena, not Ethan. I wish I could tell them Mom, Dad, Lily, Max, that I am their daughter, their sister. But fear grips me tighter every day. What if they turn away? What if they call it a phase, a mistake, a sin? Could they ever accept the girl I see when I close my eyes? She paused, breath hitching, then glanced at a photograph resting on her dresser. Mom's gentle smile, Dad's firm but loving gaze, Lily's infectious laughter, and Max's mischievous grin, all the pieces of a family that felt both safe and suffocating. The rhythm of their lives revolved around church gatherings, youth meetings, and family dinners filled with prayers and expectations. This was a world that sought to straighten every curve and silence every whisper of difference. And yet, Elena's heart beat fiercely with a truth she couldn't keep caged. Earlier that day at Willowbrook's thrift store, she had seen a dress hanging among a rack of forgotten treasures, a knee-length chiffon skirt embroidered with tiny bluebells, soft and delicate. For a fleeting moment, she imagined herself twirling beneath the sun, free as the breeze. But then a familiar voice called out, "Ethan, come look at these ties. Perfect for church Sunday." The dream shattered as she tucked the vision away, along with her hope. A single tear carved a wet path down her cheek as she closed the journal, wiping it away before it could betray her. The clock chimed. It was almost time for bed. The weight of two worlds pressed down on her, the boy she was supposed to be and the girl she longed to become. The next morning dawned bright and sharp. In the breakfast room, the Harper family gathered, the scent of fresh pancakes mingling with the low murmur of conversation. Elena forced a smile as her father, Michael, shared tales of his day at the local factory, and her mother, Sarah, bustled between kitchen and table, ensuring everyone was fed and ready. Her younger siblings, Lily and Max, laughed and teased, blissfully unaware of the storm beneath her calm exterior. "Morning, kiddo," Michael said, tousling Elena's hair roughly as he passed by. The gesture was meant to be warm, but it felt like a reminder of the role she was expected to play. "Big baseball game tonight, right? Need to stay sharp." Elena nodded silently, the word Ethan sharper than any blade. "Yeah, Dad." Later, at school, she moved through the hallways like a ghost, caught between worlds. Boys joked about sports and cars, girls whispered about dances and makeup. Elena envied the ease they shared, the freedom of their steps and laughter. She yearned to be part of that world, the world of flowing skirts, soft smiles, and whispered secrets shared behind closed doors. One unexpected friend, Jamie, a bright-eyed artist known for questioning norms, noticed the quiet sadness behind Elena's eyes. "Hey," Jamie said softly during art class, handing her a paintbrush dipped in lavender. "You okay? You seem like you're carrying a mountain." Elena hesitated, then shook her head. "Just tired," she whispered, heart pounding. Jamie smiled gently. "If you ever want to talk or just hang out, I'm here." It was a small spark of hope. At home that evening, under the watching eyes of framed family photos, Elena found herself alone. She retrieved her hidden package, an azure blouse and a soft skirt she'd carefully ordered and kept secret. Each fabric touch was a balm for her soul, but a constant risk if discovered. Slowly, trembling with anticipation and fear, she dressed in the fading sunset's glow, her reflection transforming from Ethan to Elena. But just as the last rays slipped away, the click of the front door shattered the fragile moment. Panic surged. She scrambled to stuff the clothes away, wipe carefully at smeared makeup, and plaster on a boyish grin just as her mother entered. Sarah's eyes narrowed briefly at the faint gloss on her daughter's lips and the scent of lilacs, not from any boy, but from Elena's hidden world. "Everything all right?" Elena swallowed, voice tight. "Yeah, just dropped something." As her mother left with a worried glance, Elena sank into her bed, hiding beneath the covers. Her heart ached with the twin burdens of love and secrecy. She clutched her journal again, whispering into the dark, "Someday, I'll be free. Someday, I'll be me." The days that followed felt like walking through a fog thick with uncertainty and fear. Elena moved with careful steps, each one hesitant, afraid to stumble into the eyes of those who expected Ethan's strength, not Elena's tenderness. Yet, beneath her cautious exterior, a boldness flickered, fueled by the fragile hope Jamie had kindled. One afternoon, during art club after school, Jamie surprised Elena with an unexpected invitation. "There's a local art exhibit happening this weekend," Jamie explained, eyes bright. "Some of my pieces will be there. I want you to come with me, just as you are." Elena's heart raced at the thought of stepping outside her carefully crafted mask. "What if someone I know is there?" she whispered. Jamie smiled knowingly. "This is a safe space. No judgment, just expression." The promise of a sanctuary tantalized Elena, igniting a tiny flame of courage. At home, however, the storm gathered. Michael had been distant, more withdrawn than usual. One evening, after a visit to the hardware store, he found Elena's hidden journal tucked beneath a pile of textbooks. Curiosity, mingled with concern, overtook him. He read. Page after page spilled secrets, tears, and truths he never knew. The son he thought he understood was a daughter he had never met. Conflicted and unsure, Michael's reaction was a tangle of protectiveness and fear. The next morning, over a breakfast heavy with unspoken words, Michael called Elena to the kitchen. The room felt colder than the crisp autumn air outside. "Elena," he began, voice rough, "I found your journal." Elena's breath caught. The secret she guarded so fiercely was now exposed. Michael sighed, looking away. "I don't understand at all. I'm scared. But I love you, the person you are inside. We'll figure this out together." Tears blurred Elena's vision, relief crashing down with newfound hope. "Thank you, Dad." Meanwhile, at school, whispers began to spread. Someone had seen Elena at the thrift store, where she had tried on a delicate blouse with hesitant joy. Rumors sparked, fueled by ignorance and fear. Some classmates whispered cruel nicknames, others stared with curiosity. Elena felt the sting of isolation, but leaned on Jamie's steady friendship like a lifeline. Together, they planned their visit to the art exhibit. The night of the exhibit arrived with a storm of nerves and excitement. Surrounded by canvases bursting with color and stories, Elena felt a sense of belonging she had never known. Among the crowd, she spotted a group of students from school. Panic surged. Just as her heart pounded with dread, a voice whispered in her ear, "Let's get out of here." It was Jamie, calm and confident, offering a hand and a promise of safety. They slipped away to a quiet corner where Elena could breathe and be herself. But just as the night seemed to settle, the unthinkable happened. A familiar figure stepped into their sanctuary, Lily, Elena's younger sister, eyes wide with shock and confusion. Lily's sudden presence fractured the fragile bubble of safety Elena had found in the art exhibit. Her sister's gaze flickered between confusion and suspicion. What are you doing here, Ethan?" Lily's voice wavered, the name cutting sharper than a blade. Elena's heart plummeted. How much did Lily know? Had she already heard the rumors swirling at school, or worse, seen Elena's secret for herself? Jamie stepped forward gently. "She's not Ethan. She's Elena." Lily's eyes widened in disbelief. "Elena? But why didn't you tell me?" Elena took a deep breath, struggling to steady her voice. Because I was scared. I wasn't sure if I'd be accepted. But I want you to know the real me. I need you to. There was silence. Then Lily stepped closer, tears glistening in her eyes. I don't get it all, but you're my sister. I'm here. Relief surged through Elena, mingled with gratitude. But as the night wore on, the shadows of doubt seeped deeper at home. Sarah and Michael struggled to reconcile their love for the child they knew with the changing reality. Family dinners became battlegrounds of awkward conversations and unspoken fears. Then came the first twist, an unexpected letter in the mail from a prestigious foundation offering Elena a scholarship to a summer program on identity and self-expression in the city. This opportunity could mean freedom, but it also meant stepping further into the unknown, leaving behind the small town and its tangled web of expectations. With her family divided but cautiously supportive, Elena faced a choice: stay within the confines of Willowbrook's cautious acceptance or dare to embrace a broader world where she could finally bloom. As Part 3 closes, Elena stands on the brink of transformation, surrounded by fragile hope and looming challenges. The journey is far from over, and the next chapter promises even more twists. The day Elena received the letter was a quiet one, but its impact thundered loudly in her heart. The elegant envelope, embossed with the seal of the Aurora Foundation, held an offer she had only dared to dream about: a summer scholarship in the city to explore identity, expression, and found family among others like her. As Elena reread the letter, the room seemed to tilt. Promises of workshops, mentorships, and true acceptance beckoned from a world far beyond Willowbrook's cautious, narrow streets. Her family gathered around the kitchen table that evening, the letter laid bare between them. The air was thick with tension and anticipation. Michael broke the silence. This could be the fresh start she needs. Sarah nodded slowly, eyes wet but determined. It's scary, but maybe it's time to let her fly. Lily smiled brightly, squeezing Elena's hand. You deserve to be who you are. But Max, the youngest, furrowed his brow. What if she gets hurt? What if people are mean? Elena smiled softly. I don't know what the future holds. But hiding felt worse. The decision was made. Elena would go to the city that summer, a leap into the unknown, a test of courage. The weeks that followed were a whirlwind. Elena prepared mentally and physically, each new blouse and pair of shoes a step closer to the person she longed to be. Jamie became her constant companion, offering support, laughter, and a safe space. The journey to the city was both exhilarating and terrifying. Towering buildings replaced trees, neon lights replaced stars, and strangers bustled around with indifference and curiosity. At the Aurora Center, Elena found a kaleidoscope of stories, others who had wrestled with identity, fought through storms, and emerged radiant. Workshops challenged her, therapists guided her, and new friendships blossomed in the vibrant rooms painted with hope. Yet, just as she began to breathe deeply, a new twist emerged, a letter from home revealing that rumors about her summer away had spread like wildfire, sparking harsh reactions in Willowbrook. Her mother's job was at risk, and her family's future hung in the balance. Torn between the city's newfound freedom and the heavy ties of home, Elena faced her hardest choice yet: fight for acceptance in her small town or create a new life where she was loved unconditionally. The letter from home struck Elena like a thunderclap amidst the bright city lights. Her mother's employer had caught wind of the rumors surrounding Elena's journey of self-discovery, stirring up backlash in their tightly knit community. Sarah's job was now on the line, and the fragile harmony at home trembled beneath the weight of gossip and judgment. Elena found herself caught between two worlds, one bursting with possibility, painted with new friendships and acceptance, the other shadowed by fear, misunderstanding, and looming loss. Determined not to let her family fall apart, Elena reached out to Jamie and the support network she had blossomed among at the Aurora Center. Together, they crafted a plan to confront the town's prejudice with truth, courage, and compassion. A fundraiser and panel discussion were organized, inviting Willowbrook residents to learn about the realities faced by transgender individuals. Elena would share her story, her fears, hopes, and the journey of becoming herself. the night of the event was thick with tension. The community gathered in the local church hall, eyes wide with curiosity and, for some, skepticism. Elena stepped onto the stage, heart pounding, voice trembling at first, but growing steadier with each word. She spoke of her truth, the battles within and without, and the love that sustained her. Questions followed, some kind, some wary, others harsh. But through it all, Elena stood firm. By the event's close, bridges had begun to form. Her family, though scarred by the battle, was united in newfound understanding. Sarah kept her job, buoyed by community support, and Michael's pride in Elena grew stronger. Returning to the city after the event, Elena felt a mix of exhaustion and empowerment. Her journey was far from over, but now she carried with her the strength born from shadows, courage to face the world, love to light the way, and hope that the story she lived and shared would change more lives than her own. Elena's life had shifted, threading new paths of hope and unforeseen challenges. After the successful community event, a surprising invitation arrived from a renowned university's diversity and inclusion program. They wanted Elena to speak at their conference about her journey, an opportunity to influence beyond her hometown and city. Excitement blended with doubt. Speaking on such a stage meant vulnerability on a grand scale. But Elena was no longer the terrified girl hiding in shadows. She was a beacon for others, a voice for stories often silenced. As she prepared for the conference, Elena received an unexpected visitor, a distant relative she had never met, Mara, a fiercely independent transgender woman with a dazzling career in advocacy and art. Mara's presence was a revelation, connecting Elena to a wider family and unimagined possibilities. But just as things seemed to align, a shocking twist rattled Elena's world. Her father, Michael, fell seriously ill. The family was thrust into crisis, forcing Elena to slow her rising momentum. Under hospital's sterile lights, she confronted the fragile threads of life and relationships she cherished. With her father's health precarious, Elena returned home, balancing caregiving with her own healing. The town's whispers softened, replaced by quiet solidarity. Even Max, once fearful, became a steadfast supporter. The story arcs toward resolution with Elena embracing the fullness of who she is: daughter, sister, advocate, and survivor, knowing the path ahead will still wind, but walked with unyielding courage. After the whirlwind of family struggles and personal growth, Elena found herself stepping onto new stages, both literal and metaphorical, that challenged and inspired her to new heights. With her father's health stabilizing, Elena returned to the city's vibrant pulse, armed with strength drawn from adversity and love. The university conference proved transformative. Elena's speech, raw and heartfelt, resonated with countless listeners. Invitations followed from advocacy groups, arts collectives, and educational platforms, each offering a chance to amplify her voice. Elena met Mara's circle of friends, a tapestry of transgender pioneers, each with stories that fueled her courage and broadened her worldview. A mentorship blossomed, pushing Elena to explore art and storytelling as tools for change. Amid the glow of progress, challenges remained. Social media backlash surfaced, forcing Elena to confront online hostility with grace and resilience. But support outweighed hate. Strangers thanked her for visibility and hope. Love emerged unexpectedly in the form of Lena, a passionate community organizer with a radiant smile and a fierce spirit. Their friendship deepened into something profound, rooted in shared dreams and honest hearts. Through it all, Elena held tight to her family ties. Sarah's unwavering support, Lily's blossoming understanding, and even Max's youthful cheer became pillars of her foundation. Her journey, once a solitary secret, now echoed in the hearts of many. And as Elena penned the next pages of her story, through speeches, art, and life, she realized that transformation was never a destination, but a continuous dance of courage, love, and authenticity. Elena's journey was not just a series of external battles, it was a profound internal voyage filled with moments that tested her spirit and demanded courage she never knew she possessed. The episode opens with Elena sitting in a therapist's warmly lit office, hands nervously tapping as she articulates her fears about the medical transition ahead. Therapist, transition is one of many paths to your truth, Elena. It's okay to feel uncertain. Your feelings are valid. The camera zooms in on Elena's tightening grip on the armrest, a silent testament to her anxiety and hope. Cut to a montage of moments, blood tests, hormone therapy explanations, and the first dose that sent ripples through her body. One scene focuses on a tearful phone call home, where Elena struggles to explain her emotional highs and lows to her mother, Sarah, who listens with a mix of concern and support. Another pivotal scene captures Elena facing a mirror, tracing the changing contours of her reflection, the subtle shifts in her features both thrilling and terrifying. The episode then turns to a milestone, the first time Elena steps outside wearing clothes that express her true self fully. The world greets her with a mix of stares and smiles. Some days bring whispers, others bring compliments. A particularly touching moment is Elena's graduation, where she walks across the stage in a dress she chose herself, the applause echoing not just the achievement, but the victory over her inner doubts. Intertwined in these scenes are Elena's journal entries, narrated softly. Every day is a mountain. Some days I slip. Others I climb higher than I ever dared. But I am mine fully, imperfectly mine. Elena standing tall at a sunset-lit overlook, the cityscape behind her, symbolizing the vast horizon of her unfolding life. Elena's path was shaped by the battles fought not only in the outside world, but most crucially within herself. This episode peels back the layers of self-acceptance, the most transformative yet challenging milestone of all. Amidst a peaceful morning, Elena practices mindfulness meditation, her breathing slow, trying to peel away the anxiety that clings like a shadow. Her internal voice murmurs doubts, but she answers them with kindness learned over tough seasons. A fragile breakthrough comes as Elena stands in front of a mirror, dressed in clothes that affirm her identity. The reflection looking back at her is no longer a stranger but a truer self. She smiles, tears sparkling with relief and joy. Therapy sessions reveal her struggle with perfectionism and internalized fears seeded by years of rejection and societal norms. Her therapist encourages her to embrace imperfection as a sign of human strength. Elena journals about encountering unexpected kindness from strangers, finding communities that welcome rather than judge, and moments of spontaneous laughter and freedom. A key scene involves Elena confronting a painful memory, a childhood friend who had turned away when Elena came out. Instead of resentment, Elena chooses forgiveness, understanding the layers of fear others carry. Parallel to her internal work, the episode shows Elena mentoring a teenager at a support group, passing on courage, wisdom, and hope. Elena walking confidently through a bustling street, the vibrant life around her echoing her rising spirit. She pauses to breathe deeply, whispering, "I am whole. I am enough." Elena's transformation was not only personal, but had begun to ripple through communities hungry for change. This episode shines a light on her emerging role as an advocate and leader, battling stereotypes and building bridges. The story begins with Elena receiving an invitation to speak at a local town hall meeting about transgender rights. The invitation is both thrilling and terrifying, a chance to be heard, but also a spotlight that could invite scrutiny. Backstage, Elena rehearses her speech, surrounded by supportive friends, including Lena and Jamie. Her voice wavers with nerves, but her determination is clear. On stage, she shares her story, the struggles, the victories, and the urgent need for understanding and inclusion. Her words spark conversation. Not all listeners are welcoming, yet the room buzzes with new awareness. Elena's learning curve as she navigates public speaking, media interviews, and advocacy meetings. She confronts opposition, but also finds unexpected allies among community leaders. A powerful scene shows Elena organizing a community event that combines art, education, and dialogue. The event, a mix of performances and panel discussions, highlights transgender experiences, fostering empathy and connection. Parallel narratives reveal Elena's pivot into leadership roles within larger networks, mentoring younger activists and expanding her impact. Elena experiences burnout, criticism, and moments of doubt. Her support system of friends and family provides solace and strength. Elena's art journey blossomed not only through personal expression, but also through powerful collaborations that amplified voices and transformed communities. Elena meeting a collective of transgender and queer artists at a local art studio. Each artist brings a unique style, photography, sculpture, music, all woven together by shared stories of resilience and hope. Together, they brainstorm a multimedia exhibition titled Metamorphosis, designed to celebrate transformation in all its vibrant, messy beauty. Elena partners closely with Maya, a sculptor whose work explores body and identity, and Diego, a musician whose experimental sounds give voice to unheard emotions. The collaborative process is a dance of creativity and challenge, negotiating artistic visions, opening up personal stories, and learning from each other's experiences. Elena's contributions, her paintings depicting fluidity and strength, become centerpiece pieces that intertwine with Maya's sculptures and Diego's haunting melodies during performances. Elena's confidence as she speaks about the art's meaning during gallery openings, feedback from diverse audiences, and the joy of building something meaningful together. It also doesn't shy away from obstacles, logistical setbacks, creative disagreements, and external criticisms force Elena and her collaborators to grow, communicate, and persevere. Family, with its complexities and contradictions, was both Elena's anchor and her greatest challenge. This episode delves deep into the shifting dynamics as love, misunderstanding, and acceptance intertwine. Elena and her mother, Sarah, sitting late at night in the kitchen, sharing a quiet conversation. Sarah admits her fears and confusions, but reaffirms her love and commitment to understanding Elena fully. Parallel scenes show Michael, Elena's father, struggling privately with pride and old beliefs. A heartfelt phone call with Lena gently nudges him toward empathy and support. Lily, once unsure, now becomes one of Elena's fiercest allies, advocating for her sibling at school and in the community, while youngest brother Max navigates his own journey from confusion to acceptance, highlighted by a heartfelt apology and embrace. Family dinners become pivotal moments, sometimes awkward, often emotional, but increasingly filled with genuine connection and honesty. The episode captures both setbacks and breakthroughs, a heated disagreement about Elena's future, followed by laughter over shared memories. A symbolic moment unfolds when the family collectively paints a mural on the backyard fence, a vibrant representation of their united yet evolving story. Each member adds their touch, a gesture of reconciliation and hope. Love, with all its beauty and complexity, became a vital part of Elena's journey, not only with Lena, but in the delicate web of friendships and bonds that shaped her life. Elena and Lena sharing quiet mornings in their shared apartment, the air filled with soft laughter and the comfort of mutual understanding. Their relationship, built on trust and fierce loyalty, faces everyday challenges, balancing busy lives, career pressures, and the relentless spotlight on Elena's growing public presence. A poignant scene shows a disagreement sparked by Lena's frustration over media intrusion. They argue passionately but resolve with heartfelt apologies and renewed commitment, illustrating the strength found in vulnerability. The narrative then explores friendship dynamics, Jamie's unwavering support, but also moments when differing views create distance. Elena learns that relationships require patience, communication, and sometimes grace to mend. At a community event, Elena meets Aria, a charismatic transgender poet whose presence intrigues her. It sparks curiosity about new connections and personal boundaries. Then navigates themes of jealousy, trust, and self-discovery as Elena explores her feelings, understanding that love and relationships are fluid and multifaceted. Elena's story had grown beyond the personal and the local, reaching ears and hearts far afield. This episode explores the heightening visibility and influence she navigates, along with the challenges it brings. Clips of the podcast spread rapidly online, sparking support and conversation statewide. Elena's social media following surges, and she receives messages from young people who see themselves reflected in her story for the first time. However, increased visibility invites scrutiny. The episode depicts moments of cyberbullying, intrusive paparazzi, and the toll of balancing public expectation with private needs. Elena's response is both personal and strategic, launching a mentorship program for transgender youth, speaking at schools and conferences, expanding collaborations with nonprofit organizations. The story highlights Elena's evolving role, from a figure inspiring hope in strangers to a leader shaping tangible support systems. A powerful scene shows Elena attending a gala where she receives an award for advocacy, a moment of pride, humility, and renewed purpose. My story is not just about transition or acceptance, it's about becoming whole. Every challenge, every moment of fear or joy, was a brushstroke on the canvas of my life. Flashbacks highlight key moments: tender family reconciliations, the exhilaration of first love, the courage born through advocacy, and the magic of artistic creation. Elena reflects on the community she's found and built, the friends, mentors, and allies who walked beside her, lighting the way. There is honesty about ongoing struggles, moments of doubt, societal obstacles, and the personal work that continues every day. Yet, hope shines brightest. Elena speaks to viewers directly, encouraging those who feel lost or unseen to hold on to their truth and embrace their unique journey. Our stories weave together in a tapestry richer than any one thread. This is just one story, but it is our story, one of courage, love, and endless possibility.